What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Amir. We back with another rap video, and what better rap video to have than to talk about one of my favorite rappers of all time, my man's PlayBoi Carti. And I found out about PlayBoi Carti pretty much around the same time as everyone else, the SoundCloud era. I'm pretty sure the first song I heard by PlayBoi Carti was on Lil Uzi's mixtape. The song had Lil Uzi, Offset, and PlayBoi Carti on the song. I'm pretty sure the song went a little something like this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, they was just doing that shit the entire song. Yeah, she shake it fast. Yeah, she drop it slow. Whoa, whoa, they was just doing that shit the entire song, I swear to God. And funny enough, PlayBoi Carti had the best verse on that song. Like, he was actually rapping on that shit. Kinda, sorta, but that's the song that put me on PlayBoi Carti. I would say around like late 2016. But after that, I wasn't really listening to PlayBoi Carti like that because I was listening to the other poppin' rappers at that time. Poppin' rappers at that time like Ugly God, X, Lil Uzi, Ski Master, Slump God. It was a bunch of rappers at that time. PlayBoi Carti wasn't really on my radar like that, but I knew who he was. But the one song that really got me on PlayBoi Carti was when they dropped Woke Up Like This, him and Lil Uzi. That song was my shit, bro. There was no song at that time that sounded like that, because I remember Lil Uzi and PlayBoi Carti dropped Woke Up Like This and Looking as two singles before PlayBoi Carti actually dropped his self-titled album. So Woke Up Like This really got me on PlayBoi Carti. Like, I knew who he was before that, but once he dropped that song, I was definitely tuning into him. And then lo and behold, this man dropped self-titled, man. I remember this shit dropped around the same time as Kendrick Lamar dropped Damn. And I was definitely listening to self-titled more than I was Damn, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think my favorite song at the time when it first came out was either Kelly K or Had To. And lo and behold, Had To is still my favorite song off that album. But it also has some underrated gems like Half and Half, Had To, like I said, Do That Shit, and Lame Niggas. So the album was a hit, but most people only remember the album for having Magnolia on it, which was a massive hit in 2017. That shit had everybody doing the motherfucking Millie Rock. But I remember after PlayBoi Carti dropped that album, I honestly didn't see him too much after that. I mean, I remember he was on the XXL with X and Ugly God, but that was about it. And then we ended up seeing him again when he dropped the new Chopper music video with A$AP Rocky. I remember I was on the bus when he dropped that shit. I was just watching it on repeat. I remember this is around the same time where I was listening to Doo-Wop Kane really heavily. But then also around this time, Lil Uzi and PlayBoi Carti, they were teasing the fuck out of us. They were saying that they was gonna drop a collab album. We was seeing hella snippets, hella videos of them in the studio. We even got a couple leaks, but fast forward 7 years and we have yet to get that shit. So honestly, after that, PlayBoi Carti was just mysterious for quite some time. And I know a lot of new fans, they be complaining like, oh, why is PlayBoi Carti mysterious or whatever? Like, he's been this way. I swear to God, he's been this way. I mean, not to this degree though. Like, I remember he would still post on Instagram and shit like that, but he was never out and about and in everyone's face. You know what I'm saying? He probably only had like 2 interviews at that time. So honestly, I didn't hear anything from PlayBoi Carti until this man just felt like he randomly dropped Die Lit out of nowhere. And I remember this dropped around the same time as Rolling Loud 2018, I believe. And I'm not gonna lie, when Die Lit first dropped, I listened to it. I didn't think it was trash, but I didn't think it was like godly either. I was just kind of like, it's alright. But I remember watching all of my favorite reactors at that time react to that album, and them niggas thought it was the most trash shit they ever heard in their life. My favorite songs when Die Lit first dropped had to be Long Time, Shooter, No Time featuring Gunna. And that might have been it, honestly. But I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, over the months of listening to Die Lit since it had dropped, like, every song just started slowly growing on me. And I was noticing it was growing on me to the point where I fucked with every song on that album heavily. Besides Poke It Out, but that shit don't count, you know what I'm saying? Nicki Minaj ruined that shit. And then I just remember, like, fast forwarding a year later in 2019, people was calling Die Lit the best album of 2018. And I don't know if they were trolling, because when Die Lit first came out, a lot of people hated it, but they weren't trolling. A lot of people felt this way, and that's because PlayBoi Carti was honestly just ahead of his time. I feel like PlayBoi Carti understood that music is still a sound at the end of the day, and it all matters about what sounds good. Yeah, he wasn't rapping and spitting lyrical shit, but he made the song sound good and mixed well with the beat. And I feel like this is the time period where everyone started becoming PlayBoi Carti fans, when his leaks started dropping. Oh my God, bro, if you was not there in 2019 when all of PlayBoi Carti's leaks were dropping, I honestly feel sorry for you. I remember Molly dropped, Neon dropped, RPMs dropped, A Lot on My Mind dropped, Goku dropped, Asthma dropped, Red on Red dropped. I mean, this dude has so many banger unreleased songs that dropped that year. It's not even funny. And I think that's when a lot of people started paying attention to PlayBoi Carti for real, for real. And then he started delaying the fuck out a Whole Lot of Red, and then he dropped Whole Lot of Red. And a lot of people wasn't fucking with it when it first came out because it sounded so different from the leaks or anything that he had released before. But a lot of people grew to it and understood the album and appreciated it, you know what I mean? And I knew this was gonna happen because I remember commenting it under videos and shit. Like, I was like, the same thing happened with Die Lit. People hated it when it first came out, but then appreciated it a year later. The same shit happened to Whole Lot of Red, and I knew it when it first dropped that was gonna happen. I love Whole Lot of Red. I honestly love that album. I loved it back then, I love it now. But I'd have to be in a certain mood to listen to a Whole Lot of Red, you know what I'm saying? What I love about Die Lit and why I think it's PlayBoi Carti's best album. One, I think it has the best beats. This man Pierre Bourne is honestly the best producer I've ever seen and heard. You cannot tell me otherwise. The album is just so vibey. Like, you can be in any mood and turn that album on. It's not gonna affect your mood. Like, it's gonna give you like that chill vibe. It's gonna calm you down and shit, but it can also get you hype as well. And then even with songs like Long Time, you can listen to that when you sad. And honestly, the album is just hella consistent. Like, it sounds like one long ass song. But it's not like all the songs sound the same either. Like, I can't pinpoint it. I'm just saying, out of all PlayBoi Carti's albums, I find myself replaying and having my most favorite songs on Die Lit. I find Die Lit having the most replayability, and I find myself playing that album the most out of any of his other albums, because you can be in any mood and still listen to that album. The reason why I don't say self-titled is like that because honestly, self-titled suffers from the 2016 SoundCloud era. It just sounds hella outdated. The beats are hella outdated, and nah, I'm just not fucking with it nowadays, honestly. Obviously, some songs on self-titled still hold up to this day, but for the most part, that shit sounds outdated, to me at least. I just look back and think like, damn, man, like, it's so crazy how much shit has changed. Like, this nigga PlayBoi Carti is totally different. This nigga a vampire now or some shit. And his fan base is the most corniest motherfuckers of all time. Like, I swear to God, it was not like that back in the day. And for the most part, it seems like everyone fucks with PlayBoi Carti, but I remember there was a point in time where a lot of people didn't fuck with him, and liking PlayBoi Carti was basically like an acquired taste, I guess. But if you haven't listened to Die Lit, man, go give that shit a listen, because honestly, in my head, in 2024, that album has no misses except for that one song, like I said, Poke It Out. That shit sucks. But it only sucks because Nicki Minaj. But remember, the album dropped in 2018, so you gotta, you know, make it relevant to its time. I mean, the album is so old, nigga, XXXTentacion was still alive when that shit came out. Fast forward 2024 and people are still hyped for PlayBoi Carti to drop. And will he drop in 2024 even though he said multiple occasions he will? I don't think so, but we gonna have to see. I think my next video is gonna be about the influence of XXXTentacion, because honestly, I feel like motherfuckers forgot. And I feel like I'm the perfect person to tell that whole story on, because I was an X stan back in the day. Am I proud of it? No, but I was like 12, 13 at the time, so you can't really blame me. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Comment what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think. I'll see y'all in my next video. Peace out. I love y'all.